This program really changed my heart over the years. And you see that there's this much struggle in the community, and having them tell me about how they can't wash their clothes because they can't eat if they do, or they can't buy their medicine. But then you see people coming together to make sure that that doesn't happen. This bag of food can stretch their budgets, and your heart is never the same again.
I'm a people person, and I like to interact with people. And the people that deliver the food, I started to come to know them. And there's a man that's on the truck, and he's a friendly guy. So we would talk, we would stand up and talk. And when our number is called, then that's when I would go up and get my brown bag.
Seniors helping seniors is the official tagline, but I would say it's broader than that. It's people who recognize a need, and without a whole lot of fanfare, a whole lot of foo-for-rah, get the job done month after month, week after week, day after day. And I think a Mercy Brown Bag does a very good job of being culturally sensitive to what different groups want, what they enjoy, what they're going to utilize, and orienting the various distribution sites to comply with those needs.
Volunteering at Mercy gives you a feeling of really being hands-on in the community. There's something about being in person, whether it's delivering groceries to somebody's house, even just waving at them through the window, and just packing bags of groceries knowing that they're going to people very close in the community. So I think it was just, so much you can do now to help on a big scale or a small scale. And when I volunteer, I'd much rather do it on a small scale in my community where you can really feel and it's hands-on.
There's a whole meal here. Throw some chicken in it. Some chicken.
We had a massive change during the pandemic, and we ended up serving 68% more people over the last couple of years because so many of the older adults were the most at risk for COVID, and we had the mandatory shelter in place. We saw so many more people that needed help with their nutrition, and so many more people that were just scared to go out and needed the comfort of seeing someone, even if it was 6 feet away.
When the pandemic first hit, it was an adjustment that I had to make. I was forced to be at home all the time. I just had to rearrange and readjust my lifestyle, my pattern.
So I used to do the same route mostly every week, one of which was to this elderly Asian gentleman, and we never spoke. Obviously he's worried about COVID, so am I, so every week we would wave at each other. And after about a year of that, one day he left me this beautiful ceramic pot with a succulent that he'd grown in his garden. And he just left it to me with a little note. And it was just so sweet that even though we never spoke, there was that connection that being a volunteer for Mercy was clearly a lifeline for him, and he so appreciated it and just wanted to acknowledge how important it was to him.
We had volunteers that showed up from all over and started driving bags of groceries to people's houses and packing them up and making sure that the older adults in our county are fed.
The truck delivers the food down to our community room, and we have people that's been organized to set up the tables and distribute the food. Then they deliver them to my door. They knock on the door, and I know it's every 2 weeks. So I said, okay, that's my food.
We were able to continue that, and we added 30 sites within the 2 years. It was what was needed, and now we continue to serve all of those places, and most of the people who signed up, they continue to need the groceries.
When I came to Mercy, it was everything you hope for in a volunteer experience. To provide food is providing, in a very real, tangible sense, comfort, support, sustenance, and ultimately love. Doesn't get much better than that.
The older adults who started this program, I believe that if they saw it today, they would be so proud, because I knew some that started this and knew those women who had been there for 25 years. They were very good friends of mine and taught me a million things, and to carry on their legacy is important.